Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Myself Shreya and we are group 7 from division L, and today we are going to discuss about instruction execution cycle. So basically these are contents for discussing today: instruction fetch, instruction decoding, data fetching, instruction execution and writing results. So basically what is instruction execution cycle? So a program residing in the memory unit of computer consists of the sequence of the instruction, and the instruction execution means this program, which consists of the sequence or set of the instruction, is executed by a processor in the memory, and the time period during which one instruction is fetched from the memory and executed on the given instructions in the machine language is called as instruction execution cycle. And after the execution of the program, counter is incremented to the point to the next instructions. Each instruction, or basically we could say each instruction cycle, is divided into sequence of phases. First one is fetch an instruction from the memory, second is decode the instruction, and the third one is the execute the instruction. We are going to discuss this later on.
So now let's begin with data fetching. So data fetching is getting the data from computer into a CPU and getting saved it into the main memory of computer, where the computer execute the instructions in different domains like ALU and different types of other domains. So here in the fetch cycle, the the data is decoded. Let's understand it well in the next slide. So in this slide, fetching, where in this execution fetching cycle, the instruction gets saved into the main memory of the computer, and then it is transferred to the instruction it's transferred to the instruction IR, where because it's the instruction IR, and the first instruction is given to the computer's memory and it's executed in the particular domain. So in this way, the data fetching cycle is working, and we can understand more about this fetching cycle in the next slide, that is decoding.
Now let us see what is instruction decoding cycle. Instruction decoding cycle is a process that helps the computer to read and interpret instruction. It is a part of the instruction execution cycle, which is the process by which a computer carries out a program. The instruction decoding cycle involves a process of fetching instruction from the memory and decoding them into the machine instruction that the processor can understand and execute. The instruction decoding cycle is performed by the control unit, which is part of the processor responsible for managing the flow of instructions. The control unit fetches the instruction from the memory and decodes them into the sequence of micro operations. These micro operations are then sent into the arithmetic logical unit, which executes the instructions. Further, introduction to the instruction decoding cycle. Instruction decoding cycle is a process in which the instructions stored in the memory are fetched and decoded by the processors. This process is also known as instruction fetch decode cycle or fetch decode cycle. It is a basic process of a computer system. The instruction decoding cycle consists of four steps: fetch, decode, execute, and write back. The first step retrieves the instruction from the memory. The second step interprets the instruction and determines the necessary actions. The execute step performs the action determined by the decode step. Then finally, the write back step stores the result of the instruction in the memory. Decode step is the second step of the instruction decoding cycle. In this step, the processor interprets the instruction stored in the instruction register and determines the necessary action. The instruction is broken down into its components such as opcode and operands. The decode step is responsible for interpreting the instruction and determining the necessary actions. The instruction is broken down into its components such as opcode and operands. The opcode is then used to determine the instruction and necessary actions that must be taken. Finally, the conclusion of the decode execute step cycle is it is a cycle which helps in crucial process in the functioning of a computer system. It is responsible for retrieving, interpreting, and executing instructions stored in the memory. Without this cycle, the computer system would not be able to perform a function. Further, further slide will explain the execution cycle of a instruction set.
Instruction execution phase. The first point is once the instructions get decoded, the processor executes the required instructions. The second point is, in this phase, the processor performs the actions specified by the given instructions. The third point is, the instruction here is executed and the result of the instruction is stored in the particular register. And the last point is, it is the last stage of the execution of an instruction. Here, after the execution of an instruction, the CPU prepares itself for the execution of the next or upcoming instruction.
Instruction fetching. The instruction fetch sequence transfers the content of the memory location that is pointed by the PC into the IR. This broken down into the microoperations sequence. The next step inward instruction execute phase take place as soon as the IR is loaded with instruction. In this phase, program counter plays virtual role. Program counter is a register which stores the address of next instruction to be executed. Hence, depending on the value of PC address is sent through address bus to the memory, and then the specific instruction is sent back to a data bus. These are the phases of instruction fetching.
Writing result. Once the instruction is executed, the result produced is written back to memory. As we have seen in previous stage that the instruction is executed. After this stage, the result is produced. Basically, our work is to store the result into the memory. Generally, accumulator AC stores input-output data. Result is sent back to the memory through data bus. Data bus sends back the result to memory. Here our instruction cycle gets completed. After completion of instruction cycle, program counter is incremented by 1. In this way, again a new cycle starts and goes on in the same way until all instructions are executed. So after every cycle, program counter is incremented by 1 and new cycle starts by following all these stages again. In this way, our instruction cycle works. Thank you.